Bob Schumacher, Senior Director of Continental Airlines UK and Ireland.
Okay, Bob, World Travel Market first day, it's an important show for you. You're the only US carrier that exhibits here.
Yes, we love World Travel Market. It's an important place for us to go and ply our wares. We've been coming here for many years, I'd imagine well over a decade, both in its old location and now down here at Excel. We believe it's the right place for us to integrate with the travel trade, particularly the leisure travel trade, where we have a big offer across the UK with our 7 UK airports that we serve. And so this is a place where we enjoy interfacing with the trade, telling them about developments as we're doing here and now, and it's a good place to set up.
On a UK level, you've just launched a 5th daily flight to New York as well last week.
Yes, we have. We're filling out that Heathrow schedule wonderfully now. It's an 8:40 in the morning departure, so it's the chance to be in New York for lunchtime, and it just widens our offer to both the leisure and the corporate traveller. They like to look at a varied schedule. They like to have more than 1 or 2 options across a day, and this helps us to fulfil that. And clearly, what's good westbound is also good eastbound. This new service is the last one out for us from New York of an evening. So at 10:10 at night, you can still leave New York and get back into London mid-morning. So it's a much bigger offer. It makes us really credible in terms of, as I say, both the leisure and the corporate market, where we can go and offer 5 flights a day, a lot of seats and a lot of varied timings.
And you've also got a flatbed guarantee as well on your flights.
Yes, we've had the flatbed seat guarantee out of Heathrow since June, and that means that if you travel on any one of our 7 daily services out of New York, irrespective of which aircraft type it is, either a 777 or a 757, you'll be getting a flatbed seat in the business cabin. And we're now running that development across the fleet, across the 777s. They'll be completed by the end of January, irrespective of which route you travel on Continental Airlines. All 22 will have the flatbed seat on them. And for the 757, which flies into the UK regions, we'll have all of those aircraft, all 41 of our 757s with the flatbed seat by May of next year.
Continental, you're bouncing back well this year. It's been a good year for you after the downturn. You're really back and firing on all cylinders.
Really happy with the performance this year, and I think so say all of us in terms of airlines. Fortunes are generally correlated with the health of economies and GDP growth, which we're beginning to see on both sides of the Atlantic again. So that's very welcome. And we've had a couple of very strong quarters. So we're delighted with the performance not only of the airline at the macro level, but of course here in the UK on the UK routes too. So it's been a good year, and it's a good year that, as they say, a rising tide carries all ships, and many carriers have done much better this year. So the aviation industry is coming out of that downturn.
And how do you see the brand evolving, say, over the next year to 2 years?
Well, as Continental, as you no doubt heard during the course of this year, we've been through an interesting ride. We've announced on the 2nd of May that we were going to merge with United Airlines, and the new company, United Continental Holdings, was formally formed on the 1st of October this year. So we are a merged company, although we're 2 subsidiaries operating separately within that merged company. Over time we're going to move those 2 carriers to operate as one, but that's not for today. We continue to trade as Continental Airlines, and at some point in 2011, we hope in the late spring we'll be able to make announcements about when that will happen. But for now it's Continental Airlines, and we're very much the same as we were a year ago. Of course, as we show up next year, we'll be showing up under a different brand name.
Now, turning back to the UK market, main concern within a lot of carriers is air passenger duty.
Yes.
What's your stance on that?
It's just gone up, as we know. It was a week ago today, in fact. Last Monday we saw APD rise, and for our particular territory, which is the US, for an individual travelling in the economy cabin, they're paying £60 before they've even put their seatbelt on and pushed back off the gate. Family of 4 is a simple £240 multiple. So it's an extremely corrosive tax to our industry. What my fear, or our fear as a business and an American company flying into this market, is that people will be priced out of travelling to the UK over time. And we won't notice it. We won't see people showing up with placards at airports saying we're boycotting the UK. They'll be doing it with their wallet, and they'll be travelling into other European destinations instead of the UK as a result of being priced out. because that £240 doesn't go back into our industry, doesn't go back into our business. It goes to 11 Downing Street, and it's not even hypothecated to environmental measures. It's something which is just leached out of the business. We are spending huge amounts of money investing in new technology, in green technology, in efficient technology, and at the same time we have got one hand tied behind our back as tax is leaching revenues out of our industry. So we're very concerned about it, and I know we're not alone. Of course, every carrier would say similar, but the medium and long haul carrier that's being hit particularly hard, and we touched off camera at the Caribbean, again destinations that we serve indirectly, but these are the people who travel to this country. These are the people who stay the longest in this country. These are the people who spend the most in this country when they travel historically, and I fear that we're going to spill a lot of that travel to mainland Europe and elsewhere because they have a choice. It's just not going to show up, and it's not going to show up on Oxford Street, it's not going to show up in our hotels, it's not going to show up in VAT receipts. So I wonder whether the government actually makes a penny on this scheme when you look at the whole thing in the round.
Do you have any thoughts of how a taxing system might be introduced that works more progressively to help the government's coffers as well as the airline industry?
Well, we'd rather it doesn't come out of our industry. I'm sure every industry would say the same thing. A tax has to be fair, and I think it has to be fair and it has to be competitive, and that means if there's more tax here and less tax elsewhere, we are putting ourselves as a country at a competitive disadvantage. So we would implore, and I know Willie Walsh at British Airways is imploring the government to look at this whole thing again, and particularly look at it in concert with the ETS regime that starts on the 1st of January in 2012, that this is going to be another taxation that hits the airline coffers and just again leaches more money out of the business when actually it should be spent in investing in the business and improving every product that we offer the customer and our environmental credentials with it.
Okay, Bob Schumacher, thanks very much for joining us at World Travel Market on Breaking Travel News.
A pleasure. Thank you for your interest.